Hello there guys, welcome back to a new video. Bit of a different one today. I'm actually working on my, well, it's now my brother's Bmw 318D, and this is an F31, but we're going to be doing a bit of a service on it today. And if you are following along, it's basically going to be the exact same on pretty much any F30 or F31 BMW 3 Series. So we're going to be doing an oil change. So we have 6 litres of fresh 5W30 LL04 spec oil, fresh Bosch oil filter, new sump plug. We also have a fresh Bosch air filter, Bosch fuel filter, and a Bosch Filter Plus Pro cabin filter. And then we're also going to be doing a brake fluid flush as well. Now for those that know this car, it was on the channel I think a year or two ago. It's basically had the full works to it. It's had a reconditioned engine, new clutch, new flywheel, loads and loads and loads of bits done to it. If you want to see it, I'll leave details down in the description box below. But like I said, today we're just going to be giving it a full service and then checking 1 or 2 other bits as well. Now, the engine was up to operating temperature, so I've already went ahead and drained the oil. Just a 17mm socket on the drain plug, and that has pretty much already finished draining. Right then, let's get the oil filter removed. So just lift the engine cover up, and then the oil filter is down on this side. So we need to find the suitable size socket for that. I believe it's a 27mm. Yes, so I'll crack that loose. Now, because of how these oil filters are mounted on these later N47 engines, they're mounted at like a 45-degree angle. Good idea to put a rag or something down there just to catch any oil that will inevitably spill out. Just let the oil drain for a second before we remove the filter cap itself, and we can lift it out. Oil filter stayed in the housing. We can lift that out as well. That's the original oil filter. It looks black, but these things will go black basically instantly on a diesel. It's only had an oil change like, I don't know, a few thousand miles ago. You can get the sealing ring removed from the oil filter cap. Just use something like a pick tool. Just give the oil filter cap a bit of a wipe out and get our new oil filter and install it into the cap. You'll know when it's seated properly, and we can get our new sealing ring, dip it in some fresh oil and get that installed to the cap. Make sure it is seated in the correct sealing groove. If you put it in the threads, you will have a huge oil leak. There's that one just there. And now this can be reinstalled. Making sure that this goes into the corresponding hole inside of the filter housing. Again, you'll know when it drops in place. And then just spin the cap on by hand. Make sure not to cross thread it. And then we can tighten it down before torquing it down to 25 Newton meters. No more, no less. And now we'll get our new oil drain plug with new crush washer installed back onto the drain pan. And again, that gets torqued down to 25 Newton meters as well. Right then, before we do anything else, I like to get some fresh oil in the engine, because, well, let's just say you could do something else. You know, you change the air filter, you change the fuel filter, you do the brake fluid, and then you're like, right, let's fire it up, and you forgot to put engine oil in it. So let's get some fresh oil in it first. Now, these N47 engines should take around 5.5 litres, but I'm just going to put the entire 5-litre container in, and then obviously when we go to start it up, we can then check the dipstick and top up as required. Right, so 5 litres of fresh oil in the engine. Let's get the engine cover reinstalled. I may as well tackle the air filter now. So to access the air filter, just these clips. And then if you lift the cover off of these rubber grommets, and this mount down there should then be able to slide the old filter out. That's the old filter removed, definitely in need of a change. And I think I'm actually going to clean this airbox out as well. So I'm going to remove the airbox fully. Just need to disconnect the mass airflow sensor and then the Jubilee clamp which holds the airbox onto the intake pipe. You could of course just slide the new filter in, but I've noticed there's quite a bit of dust and debris in there, so I want to get that cleaned out before it fouls up the new filter. Here we are, so top of the air filter box removed. So there's this air intake hose, remove this Jubilee clamp, then you have to squeeze these tabs on this hose as well, and then this should just lift out. Again, if the air filter box is particularly dirty, it's always worth giving it a good clean out. So if you just put a new filter in this, all this dust is just going to instantly stick to that new filter. Now, after removing the airbox, I thought I'd just inspect the crankshaft pulley. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see down there, but there is quite a few cracks in it, and it's a common problem for these to fail. If it does fail, it splits in two, falls off. Obviously you lose then all your drive bout. So you lose your air conditioning, you lose your alternator, and you lose your water pump. So yeah, probably will be swapping that out sometime soon. There we go then, much better, all now nice and clean. This just drops back into place. And we can get the fresh air filter installed. That's how it should look. And we can get the cover reinstalled as well. So with the air filter box all now put back together, let's move on to the interior. Let's get the cabin air filter swapped out. So to access the cabin air filter, you just need to remove these two 10mm hex head bolts underneath the glove box, and then this trim should pop down. It's just held in by 3 clips. And then you want to disconnect the 12-volt socket just there, and then also disconnect the light as well. And then if you remove these 3 Torx 25 screws, should then be able to remove this cover to reveal the cabin filter itself. And so it's out with the old and then in with the new. Just want to make sure that the airflow is in the correct direction. So obviously the air needs to come from the outside and into the cabin. So the air filter should go around like that. There we are then, that's the new filter installed, cover reinstalled, and those 3 Torx screws back in. Let's get the dash cover reinstalled, and that's the cabin air filter swapped out then. Okay, so onto the fuel filter now. It's located on the passenger side if you are in the UK. If you are elsewhere in the world, probably on the wrong side of the car. So you need to remove this panel, just held in by a bunch of 8mm hex head screws. As you can see, that's a fuel filter there. Easiest way to disconnect one of these is don't bother removing the connector, the electrical connector or the fuel supply from this heater here. just remove this clamp, and then you have a 13mm hex head bolt holding the filter to the car, and then just one fuel line to disconnect here. And there we go then. That's the new fuel filter in place, clip reinstalled, and the fuel line at the front reinstalled. Securing bolt as well back in place, tighten down. This is the old fuel filter, not very old, only swapped out a couple of years ago, but worthwhile swapping these out every other service. And yeah, or make sure you remove the original seal and make sure the seal goes on the new fuel filter. So we are now on to the brake fluid flush. I have one of these electronic brake fluid bleeders, which I'm trying for the first time now. Seems to be working quite well though. Just got it set at 20 psi. And I like to work my way from the furthest point away from the master cylinder, so it's the passenger side rear. I'm going to crack that loose, bleed about 1/4 litre of fluid. That should basically be the whole line then bled through. And obviously then I'll do the other side, rear, and then the passenger side front, and then finally the driver's side front. Okay, so all 4 corners now bled. This is how much old fluid I got out. Best part of 1 litre in there. The brake fluid level is at the max mark, and I've also topped up the engine oil as well, added about another 1/2 litre or so. That is also at the max mark. Only thing left to do now is head into the car, reset all the service data, fill out the service book, and that should be us. Job done. There we go, as you can see, engine oil reset and brake fluid reset as well. Well then, there we go, nice little job done. Pretty much a full service done on my brother's F31 318D. Like I said, if you haven't already seen this car on the channel, go back about 2 years ago or so in my trading up to my Dream Supercar series. If you are wondering what's happening with that, by the way, it's on pause at the moment, but I will be continuing it fairly soon. Just need to get rid of 1 or 2 cars that I own at the moment, and then that series will be continuing. Like I said, we've done a whole bunch of work on that car. It had pretty much a brand new engine, new clutch, flywheel, went through all of the filters, all of the fluids, and that car is like in very, very good condition for the age and the mileage of it. Now, if you are watching this video as a bit of a tutorial for, you know, your car, just take your time. It really isn't that difficult. Oil and oil filter is not difficult. The fuel filter, again, not difficult. The air filter, piece of cake. Cabin filter, piece of cake. And full brake fluid flush, yeah, really not that difficult. I'm pretty sure I do have individual step-by-step videos for every single step that you've seen in this video. I've got numerous N47 oil change videos. You know, I've probably got an air filter and a cabin filter and a fuel filter replacement on this car. So if you want an in-depth, you know, probably 5 to 10 minute video how to do any of these steps, all the videos will be on my channel at this point. But anyway, I want to thank you all for watching this video. Remember to give it a like, leave a comment down below, subscribe if you have not already done so, and I'll see you all very, very soon in that next one.